everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Roya. As you can see from the title of this video, I am in a new cozy hobby room. I love these kinds of videos. This room is a showcase of everything that I love, all of my hobbies put together. In addition to how I express myself in my cozy hobby room, I love to express myself through my jewelry and accessories, and that's where Ana Luisa jewelry comes in. Ana Luisa kindly gifted me these two very beautiful pieces. I am wearing the Alexa necklace, which features a book charm and two little charms next to it. Very beautiful and dainty. And then I'm also wearing the Hannah bracelet, which has pearls and flowers alongside the chain. They are luxurious but also affordable. They are good for the environment and also are hyperallergenic. They are water resistant, they are sustainable. So you're not gonna have green skin, your jewelry is not gonna change colors. I just love that Ana Luisa offers everything that I've been looking for in a jewelry brand. They are luxurious looking, but they are dainty. They elevate my everyday look. You can style it up, you can style it down. And as you scroll through the website, you will see that there is something for everyone. There's so many different kinds of diverse necklaces, bracelets, earrings. There's something for everybody. As you can see, I'm wearing the book necklace, which is perfect for me because that is what started it all. As I'm sitting here today, Ana Luisa offers free and fast shipping within the US and also affordable options outside of the US. There is also a worry-free guarantee and a 2-year warranty on all of their products. So I highly encourage you check out Ana Luisa. My link is at the top of the description box. Check it out. It is safe to say that I love these pieces as I live in a very humid environment. It is important to me that my jewelry is water resistant, durable, and hypoallergenic. And Ana Luisa checks all those boxes. So thank you, Ana Luisa, for sending me these pieces. And with that, let's get started with my cozy hobby room setup. I'm going to put some pictures of my previous gaming setup and hobby room here so you can see where I had come from. Now, this particular room was a little bit small. I didn't have a lot of room to work with because of the layout of the doors and the windows. And so I did what I could, but I knew that moving out, I really wanted to step up my game with my hobby room. I wanted to be a little bit more minimalistic. I'm basically going for a little bit more of a gaming centric setup, but also bookish and a little bit of like a fantasy theme, but with a kind of more elevated and luxurious look. So let's go ahead and get this cozy hobby room set up. Choices have to be made. Do I want pink or do I want white? Why is this thing so big? So this is the current state of this room right now. It is kind of a disaster, but we need to get this gaming setup done, and I want to put this vinyl wrap on this desk to give my desk a little bit of warmth, and I think it's gonna look really nice, so let's do that. day 2 of putting up all of my books and decor, and let me just say I am already so tired. I spent like a good 6 hours yesterday setting up all my books. All 4 of my camera batteries died. By the time I was done, it was 11 p.m. And the next thing I need to do is vacuum my floor so that I can start putting things in my closet. And I have a couple of more books to kind of rearrange because I think I underestimated how many I had, and I have to do some kind of messing around so that I can get it all to work. But for the most part, most of my books have been set up. So I'm going to quickly show you guys before I put all of my decor up and my lights, which I will also show you. Here is an overall view of just like my main bookshelves, and something that I have been playing with, as you see, is like kind of stacking some books front facing and then others like just with their spine facing, and kind of like a little bit of a hack if you want to do it, or if you feel like, you know, you want to elevate your bookshelves a little bit. And this is a space saving thing as well. If you have some books that either you've read and you know you're not going to pick up anytime soon, you can kind of stack them front facing this way. And then that way you also have a cute little like contrast. So it's not just books with their spines showing. Like books where I particularly like the covers, I try to display, and I think it just looks more fun that way, and it gives my bookshelves kind of a varied look, and it looks a lot more dimensional. So that is basically what it looks like. I will say though that like of all of my bookshelves, I probably dislike the arrangement of my middle grade shelves the most. As you can see, the shelves are so small that I have to do like horizontal and vertical layout. But in terms of space, it works, and it's what fits in this corner of the wall. So I'll take it, you know. Have to make sacrifices in order to get my insane collection to fit on the wall. And I kind of have a little bit of like a gaming theme going on as well. I'm trying to make it fun. So that's what I put there. And then I have my huge, giant, colossal chair, which, fair disclosure, I did not think was going to be this big. It's actually humongous, looking at it in the camera viewfinder now. But hey, it's comfortable and it works. Hello, it is day 3. It is now like 6 p.m. and I wanted to show you some of the things that I did off camera, but I am going to go through and add the final touches to my bookshelves. So that would include any of like my plushies or flowers. I may try to hang up my lights tonight. We shall see, but I do have a video that I really need to edit. Last night I couldn't sleep, and so I found myself working on this shelf because it didn't seem like a super heavy task, so I decided to work on it. And up here, I'm going to give you a little tour of what's going on here so far. I've got coloring and like pens and markers and supplies up here. And then I have this little basket that just looks really nice on this shelf. I don't know where I'm going with it quite yet, but I just love the look of this like wicker color against the white shelf. And I have some like books that are just kind of smaller that can fit into this basket. I might put comic books there, just other things like that, but for now it makes sense right there. And I do have my little crochet Miffy that I did myself. And at the very bottom here, I have magazines. I have some comic books and just like some catalogs that I've kept since I was a kid, just like memories, just like nostalgic stuff. And I do have some like published short story like magazines here. You can get these at the bookstore. And then I have my Le Petit newspapers here. So speaking of Ikea, I forgot to give you guys a haul of the day that we went to Ikea. Life has just been so crazy. And like I said, I'm in the trenches of unpacking. It's been a couple of weeks and getting sick definitely didn't help. But anyway, I'm going to stop yapping. But I saw this at Ikea, and this is the Risatorp. And it's this little wire basket. They had a white one and they had a pink one, and I just couldn't resist the pink one. And I think this would be a great like activity or hobby basket just to like go around the house with. I like to be nomadic sometimes around the house on the weekend. So this would be a really fun way to like move my stuff around. Got another light that I'm gonna put on my second monitor, and this is Rolfstorp. And it just provides this like really nice warm glow on my walls. And it's on the back of my monitor, and I already have one and I really like this. So from Amazon, I bought this really cute little like kerosene style lamp nightlight, and this is actually for kids, but I wanted to put some sort of lighting that doesn't have to be plugged in 24/7. So this would be perfect for that. And on that shelf over there by my closet, I needed another source of light so that there's some sort of glow behind me. So I got this from Amazon. It's kind of like an orb type of situation, and I can control it from an app. So I think that will be really cozy. My biggest thing was having something that would provide a warm kind of orangey light, but then also colorful. And then the last thing I bought is not a lamp, but it is actually a Switch game holder. So I have all of my Switch games in their cases still because I like the cases and I just like physical media. But I think this would be a nice kind of consolidated solution so that I don't have to go digging through my cases to find my games. So let's open these lamps and see what they look like. Also, I just am obsessed with this Govee table lamp. It is literally so cozy and it adds a really nice touch to my gaming setup. And I feel like if most of the lights are off and I keep that on, it'll look really nice. And ideally, I actually bought it for over there, but I feel like I can appreciate it a lot more over here, especially where I'll be reading or like gaming on my Switch in this chair. You guys, it is time for the final tour and overview of the setup. I'm so happy to finally be at this part in the video. When I tell you setting up this room was a labor of love, I truly mean it because I worked really hard to make it what I wanted, self-expressive, but also like a very cozy and homey space. So let's get into the tour. Let's start with my cozy gaming setup. As you can see, I have a very different setup from what I had before. I removed a lot of the clutter that was on my previous desk, and I went for a little bit more of a minimalistic but cozy approach. Show you my desk first. So this is the exact same desk that I had before. It is still the Ikea desk, but I went ahead and ordered a vinyl wrap from Amazon to give it a more rustic and warm look. I'm kind of over the sterile kind of hospital furniture appearance, and so I gave this a warmer look and I love it. I think it just warms up my space so much, and I can't believe I didn't start doing this earlier. I don't know what has compelled me to buy white furniture like all the time, but I am so glad that I went for a more wooden look. I still have the same monitor setup. One monitor is bigger than the other, and I think I like it that way because that's my main gaming monitor, and that monitor I use for more of like my side or admin tasks, and so it works for me. If I did get a second monitor, I think it would be fine, but for now, I really do like this setup. I really love the way that this monitor riser makes my desk like just look more elevated in general. So I have my Nintendo Switch OLED here. I made this little air dry clay charm. It's definitely a little bit wonky, but it's cute, and I think it was a fun free craft. Over here, I have 2 Sunny Angels and 2 little keycap fidget clicker things, so those are fun. Here I have a little case that holds all of my Nintendo Switch games. I know a few are missing because they're in my Switches, but here I have Luigi's Mansion, I have Zelda, and I also have Mario Kart, of course. This little light is actually a kid's night light that I got from Amazon, and it actually flickers. Like if you like tap your table, it like senses the movement. It's really interesting, and you can dim it and you can brighten it as you want. And underneath I just have a coaster for when I have my drinks, and then I have a little flameless candle here just for decoration. I also hopped on the speaker trend. Not trend, I know a lot of people have been doing it, but it's so nice to give my ears a break and to just let music play from those or my YouTube ambiances, so definitely worth the buy. I highly recommend getting speakers for your gaming setup. This is a little granny square that I crocheted, and I just think it looks really cute and it matches my setup. And then I have a little calico critter that I pulled from a blind bag. Of course, I have Geralt from The Witcher on my desk so that I can add a little bit of character and a little bit of quirkiness without going overboard. Just have a bunch of like odd bits and ends. So I have batteries for my camera, and I have the remote for my lamp in here. And then I have my Logitech mouse, which I love so much, and this absolutely beautiful, stunning keyboard that I got from Amazon. It offers like some color in the lights, but it's also like minimalistic enough that it's not too distracting, and that was kind of what I was going for this whole video. That's my PC down there. Nothing much has changed with that. It is still the same PC. It's still running pretty solid, and then I have my headset. I also have a basket that holds my heated blanket, and then my footrest down there. On the wall is a Ministry of Magic map that I actually got from Epic Universe here in Florida, and this comes with the wands that you buy. I just thought it was really like pretty, and it matched the vibe of my room, so I hung it up. Then over here I have 2 kind of rustic wooden wall shelves. So I have a few Harry Potter prints up here. I have 2 Sunny Angels, and then I have a Jellycat and a cute little print. And this is my moon lamp. It is really fun. I got this from Amazon. I have a remote so that you can change the color, and you can pretty much change it to any color. You can increase the brightness, you can lower the brightness, and I think it's a really cozy addition to my setup. So I leave that there, and I usually just turn it on at night. And then over here I have a Lord of the Rings print that came with a Magic the Gathering card set. A pretty simple setup, and I was kind of on the fence of if I wanted to add anything more, but I thought that it looked fine just the way that it was, and I was going for more of a cozy minimalistic look this time. So I'm really happy with the way that it looks, and the Ikea LED strips that are on the back of my monitor just provide the coziest glow. So that is my cozy little gaming setup. I also just have this kind of standard white office chair that I got from Amazon. It's really comfy and good quality, and I love that it doesn't block my monitors. So that's my little cozy gaming setup. Moving on to like my little reading nook. Now this I also got from Amazon is a huge, big fluffy chair. It's very comfy. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, to be honest, but I'm okay with it. So I just added this little pillow that I got from HomeGoods that match all the colors in this room perfectly. And then I recently bought this Ikea shelf to go alongside back here. So up there I have a few dolls that I got from a small shop, an ivy garland around the bookshelf, and so I have a bunch of gadgets and trinkets up here. So my Calico Critter collection is up here, along with some of the books that used to be on my gaming setup, just like some fairy books and just fun little books that I felt like deserved their own little spot up there. Over here is my favorite book of all time, and also like the series. So this is the Diviner series by Libba Bray, and I have not only like the full set, which is behind this one, but also a special edition set, which is back there. Really beautiful set. And then I have a few Nintendo plushies that I got from Epic Universe. And then over here is my very small manga collection, and then some Studio Ghibli prints. I am trying to read a little bit more manga, but it's a little bit intimidating not knowing which series would suit me the best. So I am getting into it though, so I expect this part of my bookshelf to grow a little bit. This shelf is kind of like a mix of some of my nerdy or enemy of my childhood favorite books that I want to spotlight, and then like nostalgia. So down here I have some books that were my favorite in childhood. So Goosebumps, Geronimo Stilton, which I get these from the used bookstore. I always get excited when I find some of these in the used bookstore, so I have a few of them here. They're just fun to read, and just like they're fun to read and fun to pick up every now and then. And then I have a used set of the Anne of Green Gables books and some more books by Ellen Montgomery. Over there I have the crocheted little house that I crocheted a couple of months ago, which I am very proud of, and I thought it fit the like Anne of Green Gables vibe, so I put it there. And then I have a jelly cat right here. I have another Sunny Angel. Back here I have my prized edition of The Hobbit. It's illustrated. It's such a beautiful book. Then I have a Hobbit and Shire print right here. I painted this scene from the Studio Ghibli movie, Howl's Moving Castle. My Switch game cases, because I love like physical media, and so I love collecting like the actual discs. I have some amiibos for my Nintendo Switch here, and then some pins from Dark Universe, and just like a little stack of pancakes that I got from Cracker Barrel. I thought they fit like the Hobbit vibe because of the second breakfast, so I thought that would be perfect to put there. And then here is a very nerdy shelf. This is where all of my Harry Potter stuff goes. I have my Harry Potter books here. I have 2 Harry Potter wands. I just got this one at Epic Universe. That's what that is. And Epic Universe is a theme park in Orlando. They just opened it, if you didn't know. And then I have some more Harry Potter trinkets, and then some Funko Pops, my Harry Potter Funko Pops and minifigures. And then I have my Series of Unfortunate Events collection here. This was my favorite series of all time as a kid growing up. My friend got me into it, and I've been obsessed ever since. I've seen the movie, I've seen the show. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it, by the way. I am missing a book here, but I'm determined to get them all from the used bookstore, so I'm waiting to find book number 6 and then book number 12. Those are the 2 that I'm missing here. And then I have a little sign that I made. I tried to make it like a pixelated gaming theme with perler beads. Down here, I have some books that I don't really touch often, but I needed a place to put them. So I'm not the biggest sci-fi girly, but I have my sci-fi and like other books that I didn't know where to put. I have them here, and then I have some like more of like books that don't really have a genre. They're just kind of random. Like I have a bird book, like just, I don't know where else to put it, so I put it there. And then I have some of my American Girl doll books that I also got from like used bookshops, and some of the mini American Girl dolls. And then I have some little Japanese erasers that look like food down here. My Nintendo DS is here. And then down there, you can't really see it that well, but I have my entire Nancy Drew collection. And the reason that I put it there is because it's a huge set, and so it makes most sense to put it there. And then over here, I have a print that I got from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Moving on to the window, I have just like a set of sheer white curtains that I got from Amazon because I wanted a cozy, like elevated look, as I said, but I didn't want to block the light. And then I have a pipe cleaner garland that I made myself. And then I have little tiny string lights. You can't see them very well, but they show up better at nighttime. So I found a way to kind of wrap them around the window without blocking the light. So that's what's there. And then I have, you ever see those like puzzles at Barnes & Noble in the Studio Ghibli section? That's what this is. And then I have my new TBR situation. So I got this cart from Amazon again. And I really love this because it's wooden, so it offers warmth in my room, like I said, that I have not had before, and I'm very excited to have. And it's very functional, so not only is it a table, but it's also a shelf. So here are a bunch of books that I have on my TBR currently. I have my Kindle here, which I just redecorated, my Sunny Angel there. I have a plushie that I won in a claw machine. Then I have a little candlestick here and my cozy little mushroom Ikea lamp that I love so much. I think at one point I had like 3 of those and then one of them broke. So that's how much I love those lamps. Over here, don't come for me ACOTAR girlies, okay? Because I know you know who this is. This is Tamlin from ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. He is not people's favorite character, but this print is giving Beauty and the Beast. And I have to put it up here because I will say, we all love Tamlin at one point, you know? And I love this print, so I put it up here. And then going along with kind of the fantasy theme, I printed this picture off years ago from the internet, and it just is giving like A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I decided to put it up here. And I believe this is Hawk from the Blood and Ash series. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I also got this print from the same artist. I think her name is Dominique Wesson, I think. But yeah, I just love the way this looks. It looks so sick. So I put it up here because I'm going for a more minimalistic but like fantasy themed. And now for the part that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting for is my bookshelf setup. This is going to be kind of long-winded, so please grab yourself a cozy drink, a coffee or tea or whatever you'd like to drink, and sit back and let's get into this. I have a bunch of like anthologies, short story collections, like books like that up here. So I have a very loosely themed fantasy, modern contemporary shelf here. This is kind of random, as you will see, but I have like romance, some fantasy. I think this is a memoir. Dr. Zhivago, Angelica Frankenstein. I have Garden Spells, which is a cozy springy book. And Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, A Little Life, which I am very scared to read because I've heard that it's a tearjerker. Dance of the Dolls, Nocturne, Piranesi, and The Song of Achilles, which I felt those two go together, so I put them there. This is my vampire and Dracula shelf, and as you know, I'm a huge vampire, monsters, Dracula stan. I always have been. This is my copy of Lucy Undying, which is kind of a retelling of Lucy's story. And here I have my Vampire Chronicles and Interview with the Vampire collection, and as you can see, they're all used, and some of these are like the original like collection, so like they don't make books like this anymore. Like for this collection, they're always like the very kind of simple covers. So I have all the mass market books in the collection, and then I have these which I got from a used bookstore. Over here I have some more of those kinds of books, and then I have this funny, like really cute and quirky vampire like graphic novel. I think it's between a vampire and a werewolf, so it's kind of hilarious. And then I have some Dracula themed books, Frankenstein of course, more Dracula themed books, Dracul, which is probably one of the most mind-blowing books that I read. Even if you haven't read Dracula, highly recommend you read this. Carmilla, my prized edition of Phantom of the Opera. It's an illustrated version, which is absolutely stunning. This got me into my Phantom of the Opera obsession. And then the Bram Stoker's Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi, who I think is the best Dracula of all time. This is a stunning book. Over there is a Disney mystery plushie. It's like one of those mystery boxes, and it smells like a dessert. I forget what it smells like. It's like a strawberry kind of smell, but that's Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Over here is kind of an extension of more spooky books. So I have Phantom of the Opera and Other Gothic Tales, which is a very stunning edition. I remember saving money for this one at Barnes & Noble a couple years ago because I wanted it so bad. I have Empire the Vampire, more Dracula, some like spooky ghost books, the Dr. Greta Helsing books. And then down here I have some more spooky books. I have Hocus Pocus, Slewfoot, which was a mind-blowing book. Very spooky and creepy, but very good. It's like a Salem witch trial themed book. Clown in a Cornfield, which is actually out in the theaters now. I need to go see it. But it's exactly what you would expect it to sound like. It's a horror about a clown attacking a town. And then I have my Grady Hendrix collection, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, How to Sell a Haunted House, My Best Friend's Exorcism and Horror Store. And this one's very creepy. If you like IKEA like me, this one's a creepy read. Then I have my Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is a childhood favorite book. Here is my like heavy book slash classics shelf. So here I have Arabian Nights, I have the Iliad and the Odyssey, Grey's Anatomy, and then William Shakespeare's complete works. There I have Jules Verne, A Journey to the Center of the Earth, A Little Princess, The Blue Fairy Book, Pride and Prejudice, Winnie the Pooh, Norse mythology, like just a bunch of like classic tales, collections of Peter Rabbit, A Christmas Carol, Hocus Pocus book, and some picture books that I found really cute. Like this one was a really beautiful Nutcracker one. And I'll show you some pictures. But I am a sucker for like really cute illustrations. Up there, it starts my like actual fantasy section. So I have some really beautiful books up here. I have Cinder, and as you can see, I kind of did this like storage efficiency solution, but it's also aesthetic, so I can display some of the covers of the most beautiful books that I have. There I have Divergent series, Forest Ball, Corpse Queen, Hotel Magnifique. And then here is more fantasy. I have Vespertine here, she is a haunting. The Book Jumper, this book is stunning, Graceling. The Forest King's Daughter, just a bunch of beautiful like fantasy books. I have some, you will see I do have some duplicates because these are from book boxes that I got years ago. So I have this edition of Dreams Lie Beneath, and then I also have this edition. So it's like I can't bear to part with them because they are from different book boxes. This is my favorite shelf in this entire room. I don't know why, it just looks so beautiful and everything just looks so put together, but I painted this candle 2 months ago and put roses on it. I have Olivia Blake books here, the Dark Windows series, The Shepherd King, Six of Crows, which I haven't got into, but I will. And then I have my little Amazon Toast Nightlight. This is a stunning book. I have no idea what it's about, but I got it in a book box, so I thought I would display it like this. And then over here, I have some Elise Kova books, like fantasy, like kind of indie fantasy books here. And then I have some more here, and my little Belle Funko Pop and a Jellycat. More fantasy, and I have a bunch of stuff here again with Only a Monster. I have 2 different copies from 2 book boxes. I know the second book came out, I just haven't found my way to it yet. And then I have Carrie Maniscalco books. I've read Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Cursed, and Kingdom of the Feared. Still a huge fan of the first one. And I haven't yet read Throne of the Fallen. And then I have the Hunting Prince Dracula and Capturing the Devil. And then I have 2 very beautiful antique books that my family got me. This one's Jane Eyre and that one's Pride and Prejudice. And then I have a really pretty like pink and blue, like kind of purple flower right there. Over here is the start of my classics collection. So I have Little Woman, The Secret Garden, the Minalima edition of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It has like little interactive pages and pop-ups and fun little paper like paper activities. Then I have Beauty and the Beast, which my sister-in-law got me, and I love the way that looks on my shelf. Over here, I have just a bunch of like the Barnes & Noble Classics editions, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Oliver Twist, Sense and Sensibility, these really beautiful editions of Madame Bovary and Emma. Down here is kind of a mix of historical fiction and the rest of my classics. So I have my prized edition of The Great Gatsby, one of my favorite books and movies of all time, and I thought I would display it. And I believe this edition has like some illustrations as well. And I am a huge fan of books with illustrations. I have some historical fiction, so I have a lot of like the Jennifer Nielsen books, which are middle grade actually, but I love her books because they are such a good way of like providing a story and like personal insight into what was happening at these times. But here I have some more fantasy books. As you can see, I have 2 editions of Together We Burn. I still have to read the We Hunt the Flame series because I've heard it's really good. Here is a little plushie that I got from a claw machine. As you can see, I am a wizard with claw machines. And then I have some more fantasy up here as well, just like some really stunning editions of some of these books. I have my small collection of the Cassandra Clare City of Bones series. I have not yet started. I assume, yeah, this is the Shadowhunters series. I have not yet started, but I did buy these books during the pandemic, so they are here for me when I'm ready. Then I have the Serpent and Dove series. I've read these 2, but I have not yet read Gods and Monsters. And then she just published the Scarlet Veil. Here I have my V.E. Schwab collection. She was one of my favorite authors a couple years ago. Still is. I really love The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I will constantly promote that book because it is so good and unlike anything I've ever read. Just like a quick summary, it's basically about a girl a couple hundred years ago in France. She makes a deal with the devil to get out of a desperate situation, and basically the consequence of that is that anybody that talks to her has no idea who she is 2 seconds later. So as you can imagine, it makes her life very hard, but she meets somebody who actually remembers her for a change. So that's the story of that. Here's another one of my favorite shelves. I have this English tea tin, which I put all my bookmarks in, and some of these prints from that author or from that artist I was mentioning earlier, some extra pipe cleaner flowers, and then over here is my Stephen King collection. I do love Stephen King's works. I have yet to read Christine, which is about a guy that has this like weird obsession with his car, and he like personifies his car and treats it like a real person. So very excited to read that one. And then here is another section of one of my favorite authors of all time. This is Riley Sager. He writes mystery kind of thriller novels, and Home Before Dark is my absolute favorite. He always makes you think there's something supernatural going on, but he always finds a way to explain the actual phenomenon at the end. And I never expect the plot twists and endings to his books. I highly recommend if you're interested in thrillers. And I still have yet to read the sequel to One of Us Is Next. This is the second shelf of my like mysteries and thrillers. So I have a bunch of like mysteries up here. This book is interesting. I almost didn't know where to put it, House of Leaves, but I figured it would be good here. It's like a mixed media book. Like you'll open it and there's like different things going on each page. It's not just like a straight story. And then I have some like classic like whodunits here. And then it kind of flows into like some thrillers. Ace of Spades was a really good book. I believe this is in the YA section. You should definitely check it out. It's like kind of a like Pretty Little Liars book where there's like somebody who's like exposing gossip and secrets about people in a school. This was very good. I really liked this book. This is also another shelf dedicated to mysteries. So I have my Agatha Christie collection here, which is pretty expansive as you can see. I have some classic editions of it as well. I have this candle that smells like marshmallows and it smells so good. And then I have some kind of like Regency Victorian era mysteries, my Daphne du Maurier books. On this last shelf, I have some more mysteries and thrillers, all just kind of blended in together. There's no rhyme or reason really to this shelf. Anything that seems like a mystery or thriller gets put here. And I have another little plushie that I won from a claw machine. I just love my claw machines. Over here at the top are my Sarah J. Maas books. I just keep them all up here because it makes the most sense. I have read all of the A Court of Thorns and Roses books. I have not yet started Crescent City or the Throne of Glass series. And then over here is a print from, I believe, one of Jennifer Armentrout's series. I don't know who that is, but I just have the print and I thought it fit the theme, so I put it there. And then I have some extra books back there. I have some of the Holly Black series, The Cruel Prince, which I just read. I really enjoyed myself reading that book, and I can't wait to continue reading the series. I have the Bear and the Nightingale series by Catherine Arden, which I absolutely loved, highly recommend. It's like a Russian kind of winter-themed fantasy. And then I have some more fantasy. So this is where it kind of starts flowing into like high fantasy, Lord of the Rings kinds of books. And then I have this book right here. This is actually the back of it, but this is Lightlark, and I just think it is a stunning book. So I display the back of it here, and A Tempest of Tea, which I need to get into. Over here is my fantasy section. So I have a dagger that I got from the Renaissance Fair. And as you can see, I was going for kind of the fairy tale, high fantasy theme here. A Funko Pop, Lord of the Rings Funko Pop. And then I have the two little Lego brick heads that I built. And I have a Beauty and the Beast, like glass crystal, this glass crystal Beauty and the Beast rose that I got from Disney World. And then I have Meanwood here, which is a stunning book. So I decided to display it. And then back here, same kind of thing. I have some like extra fantasy books there as well. Tiara that I got from Amazon. I thought it looked really nice here. I have Aragon here, Princess Bride, Witch and the Czar, Anastasia, like a bunch of like fantasy books. And then down here, I have more fantasy books. So obviously, like, got my Brandon Sanderson collection. Wasn't a huge fan of Skyward. I think it's a little bit too young for me. And I'm not a big fan of like military battle chatter, which this one has a lot of. So I would recommend not reading that if you're not into that. But I've heard that other people have really enjoyed it. I have yet to read Mistborn. Here's my Legolas Funko Pop, and I have some more fantasy books. My giant Lord of the Rings collection, and then I have this little book stand that is also like Hobbit themed. I have some more Lord of the Rings brick heads, as you can see here. Here is where my Dark Academia collection starts. So I have books by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, which I highly recommend. The Shadow of the Wind. This is one of the most mind-blowing books I've ever read. It's about a book that is very rare. A boy finds it. Copies of it are being destroyed, and there's a mysterious man who is after him. And that's all I'm going to say on the subject. I think you should definitely read this. I have Atlas 6, Special Topics in Calamity Physics, The Godfather, which I really want to read, and then some more Dark Academia. I just read Don't Let the Forest In. This was really interesting. Nothing like shocking or anything, just the secret history is there. And then I just finished reading Dead Poet Society, and I watched the movie as well. Definitely a tearjerker. It was a good one. And then The Art Thief was really good, about a dude that is like crazed with stealing pieces of art from museums. And then A Lesson in Vengeance, If We Were Villains. And then of course the Divine Rivals series. Down here I have some like, I guess this is considered young adult. It's my Miss Peregrine's series. The Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and I have the box set, and then I have these extra books here. Highly recommend this. It's very quirky and weird, but it's a good series. Caravaggio book, which is just like art prints. I thought it looked really cool here. And then behind it is my Twilight series. If you grew up in like the early 2000s, we all know you had a Twilight phase, so just putting that there. And then I have my Dark Dawn series right here, because these are kind of heavier, which is why I put them on this bottom shelf, so that they're not just a ton of weight at the top of my bookshelf. And then the Pillars of the Earth, I have that. Like, these are really heavy books. We are on the last shelf. This one is kind of like a mini shelf, as you can see. It's like half the size of these. These are where I put my middle grades. So not going to go into this too much in depth, because they're just put in where they fit. But the Winter House series, I would say, is one of my favorite middle grades of all time. Very cozy, set during Christmas, like in the winter, and a mysterious hotel that has a bunch of puzzles and a lot of history, and the main character learns about how she is connected to all that history. So definitely worth the read. I have my Neil Gaiman collection here. And then I have the Little House on the Prairie collection here, and as well as another one of my favorite middle grade series, which is the Sinclair's Mysteries by Catherine Woodfine. And these are about different thefts in a very grand and luxurious department store in England. And there are two girls and I think a boy that kind of team up as detectives to find out what's going on. Very detailed and intricate, and I honestly think like it's one of the best middle grade books that I've ever read. Here I have kind of like some more middle grade books, so you're gonna see a mix of kind of like horror and then mystery and adventure. I did enjoy Scritch Scratch a lot. It was like kind of educational and like historical fiction, but it was spooky as well. In addition to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, I really liked her City of Ghosts series, which is about a daughter of ghost hunters, and she can actually like see ghosts. So really interesting story there. And one of them was set in Scotland, I think, in Edinburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Really good series. And then I have my Castle in the Air, House in Many Ways, Howl's Moving Castle book, which is on my TBR shelf. I don't know what these are called, but I got it from Disney Springs. It's this really cute little mouse. I just had to get it, and he's in a little bed. And then here I have some more books. Like I said, no rhyme or reason, just a bunch of middle grade books. And then down here is kind of the same thing. I have some antique children's books here. And then Green Glass House, which is kind of another like hotel puzzle situation. I like this, but I still like Winter House the best when it comes to that theme. And then I have another series by Catherine Arden, and I really loved this series, like Small Spaces, Dead Voices, like just like really spooky middle grades. Empty Smiles, like highly recommend if you're looking for a cozy spooky middle grade. Over here in this little wooden caddy, I have all of my coloring books. So I have like Fuzzy Hooga, I have a Disney one, I have another Disney one, I have like a cottagecore fairy tale, my Bobby Goods is in there. Let's see, I have like the ones from Amazon that are only like $5. They're so totally worth it. I have a Lord of the Rings one. I love coloring so much. It's like one of the most relaxing hobbies ever. You over to this shelf that is right behind my door, so you don't really see it super well when the door's open, but right now the door is closed. So up here I have a vase of fake tulips. I have this little orb that changes colors. I set it to pink, but you can change it to like any color. I have this little Lego box that has extra Lego pieces in it. And then right here I have this antique cup with a teddy bear that I crocheted. Here is a little bag that has all of my Ohuhu coloring markers. I love these markers so much. They're totally worth the money. And then I have some more pens and like coloring supplies back here, and another Lego box that I use for when I'm actively building a Lego set. Here I have two little metal earth kits from Epic Universe from Nintendo World. So I have yet to build those, and I think they will look really nice like either at the top of my shelves or on my like hobby shelf that has like all of my little nerdy like gadgets and gizmos on it. And then here I have a little Miffy inspired plushie that I crocheted myself. I'm very proud of this. It's definitely got some like odds and ends in it. Here I have a box full of like magazines, like journals, mysteries, and then some like cute little books here, and then comics because I'm trying to get into some more comics. So I have like Buffy here, I have Nightwing, and then I have like Norse mythology and like Scooby-Doo and stuff like that. Then down here I have the rest of my magazine collection. So I love the Daphne's Diaries. I like the cozy issues of like, I think they're called the Bella magazines. And then I have some extra comic books that I actually need to put up there. So I'll do that later. And then I have some like Southern Lady, like Victoria, Cottage House, like New Yorker magazines here, the Country Diary. And then I have my copies of the Le Petit newspapers here. And this is my closet. I'm not going to get too much into it because it can be a little bit messy, at least compared to the rest of my room. So I'm only going to show you this part, but this is where I keep all of my crochet supplies, my yarn. I have my pin collection here. I have some extra yarn here, my bag full of hooks. Here I have just a box full of extra fabric and shirts that don't fit me anymore that I want to turn into sewing projects. I've got crochet buttons, eyes here. I've got purler crafts here. This is like my box of like rainy day board activities, like a doll making kit. I've got like a flute back there, like a bunch of like fun things. There I have some of my like filming equipment. This is a wire basket that I got from Ikea, as you saw in the beginning of this video. It's nice to just put a bunch of stuff in and kind of just use it as like my little hobby basket. And then I have beads and friendship making bracelet kits there. And there you have it, you guys. That is my completed hobby room setup and tour. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out Ana Luisa's jewelry at my link below in the description box. I really think you guys will enjoy how luxurious, simple and dainty and sustainable, affordable, and good quality that their jewelry is. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Stay cozy.